Guys, welcome to Mornings with Stephanie. I wanted to, boy, I'm gonna tell you, it was the weekend. I've been celebrating birthdays all weekend, and today is my baby sister's birthday, so I'm getting ready to go out. And I was up thinking about a conversation I had with a male friend, and I wanted to share it with you this morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and get in my message. You know, everybody's always talking about relationships, whether you're single, you're married, you're dating, whatever the case is. I kind of noticed that whatever it is, when I'm hanging out with friends, male or female, relationship comes up. My married friends, my single friends. And so I was talking to one of my married friends over the weekend, and I was sharing with him something that happened when my grandmother was here, when my husband was alive. And I remember one weekend my grandmother came and spent the weekend with me, and we were outside doing the garden. It was just a busy weekend. We were doing clothes, we were organizing, we were cooking, preserving okra, you name it. The whole day was just a really busy day. And so at the end of the day, I was on the phone talking to my husband. Actually, at that time, I think we were making sweet potato pie. So my grandmother was making pie, and my husband was on his way home. And so I said, okay, baby, I'll see you when I get there. And so after I got off the phone, my grandmother looked at me. She just stopped. And she looked at me and she said, are you going to look like that when your husband come home? And I was like, well, what's wrong with the way I look? And she says, let me tell you something, baby. She said, when a man work all day, hard working man, he needs to come home to a beautiful woman. He needs to see you. You are the first person he needs to see when he walks through his home. You have to set that ambiance, and you have to set the tone when he walks into his home. And I said, oh, grandmother, Harold doesn't care about those things. All he wants is a clean house and the smell of food when he walk in. That's what he wants, and I make sure I provide that. And she says, no, baby. She said what he needs is to see his beautiful wife greet him at the door with a kiss. She said, now go in there and take a shower and put you a cute dress on and put you some lipstick on and make yourself pretty for your husband when he come home. And so I always listen. So I did that. I went in the bathroom and I showered and I put on a cute little dress and I put some lipstick on, and she made me stand in the door in the screen because I have a storm door. So she made me stand there. And she said, you greet your husband every day when he comes home. You greet him at the door with a kiss and a smile. It doesn't matter what's going on. That's how you greet your husband when he comes home. When he gets off from work and comes home, to his castle. And so I remember that, and so I was standing in the door, and I could see him getting out the car, getting all his stuff, and his head was down, and you could tell he was thinking about something, and he wasn't, home yet. And so when he walked on the porch and he saw me standing in the door, looking pretty with a cute little dress and the lipstick, he looked up and he said, "Wow!" Just like that. He said, "Wow!" And he started kissing me and hugging me. And he said, is it my birthday? And I was like, no, it's just you work all day. And I just wanted you to come home and see your beautiful wife. And so he knew my grandmother that told me that. So he says, oh my God, your grandmother can never leave. She has to stay here forever. So I was tickled pink, and I was thinking about that. And I was thinking about, because we're always talking about relationships and love and so forth. And the one thing that kept staying in my spirit was that whatever situation that you're in, you have to somehow think about not just being into me, myself, and I. Think about the other person. Think about giving the needs that your mate may need. And he will do the same for you, and then it all balances out. If we just keep thinking about what we want and what we need and how we feel, then it just really doesn't work. So I was thinking about that, and I wanted you to continue. If you're single, make sure that you're carrying a smile, you're glowing, you're radiant, so that you're approachable, so that person that's out there for you can see you. And it's not always about you and what you want and your list and your do's and your don'ts. Sometimes it may be about the other person. So I don't know. That was in my thoughts this morning, and I wanted to share it with you. And I want you guys to have a wonderful day, a beautiful day. And again, welcome to Mornings with Stephanie. Thank you for joining me.